In today's episode of Comics and Cosplay, I list my top 10 things that I believe Bungie needs to incorporate to make Destiny better in their upcoming expansion, The Dark Below. So I'm sure many of you were like me and highly anticipating the release of Destiny. And then once the game was actually released, you were kind of feeling meh because it didn't really live up to all the hype and the expectations they had created for us in the beta. Bungie had such a great track record with Halo and their previous series that you thought that their new attempt in franchise that attempted to combine MMO along with the concepts of a first-person shooter was going to be something truly revolutionary and amazing. However, what we got was something that felt, a little lackluster, not fulfilling up to its promises, and even subpar for the level of quality that we had come to expect from Bungie. However, with all that said, I believe these are 10 things that they can do to help improve the game and make it better for their upcoming DLC release. I think a lot of people are going to give Bungie the benefit of the doubt and say, with this next release that they have to fix a lot of the problems, and that will ultimately help them determine, is this going to be a game they stay with or something they let fall by the wayside, similar to how people dealt with Titanfall. Now I know Bungie announced last week the things that were going to be a part of The Dark Below, and some of those things are already on my list. However, the reason I'm not going to remove those items is because there are a lot of things that were promised at the launch of Destiny that ultimately didn't make it into the game, like the hard mode second tier raid set as well as various other weapons. So that's why I'm going to keep everything on my list in hopes to say that even though Bungie has acknowledged these things that are problems or want to be changed, here's hoping that they follow through and get those released for The Dark Below. So my first recommendation is that Bungie should focus on making the game better and improving the overall experience rather than simply focusing on making it harder. I know they needed to make certain hotfixes and updates to get rid of certain exploits that players were taking advantage of, like the loot cave. However, the recent change, the update to the raid in which Atheon now randomly transports people, was kind of a waste of time and energy. I don't think this was a giant exploit that people were taking advantage of, as well as I thought it was good for the game because it reinforces the dynamic often found in many MMOs, is that you leave certain tasks for more experienced players and have other tasks for newer or less experienced players, which also helps encourage these two different types of groups of players to work together rather than one group only focusing to playing with and having really high level people on their groups. So I think this was a mistake on Bungie's part, and there's better areas and ways they could have spent their time. Number 2 is that Bungie needs to improve the quality of the servers and the connectivity problems that they currently have. Now, it is greatly improved from the launch date issues, but I still routinely see and experience myself players being unable to connect to the servers or join various party teams or fire teams due to various glitches in the servers and not allowing people to join. This is a basic issue and needs to be resolved as soon as possible. Number 3 on my list is that Bungie needs to greatly improve the story of Destiny. It's super shallow and hollow and filled with numerous plot points that kind of fall through or by the wayside, and we get no explanation for why they're happening. And this is shocking because Bungie did an amazing job on the first Halo because it had twists and turns and was overall very intriguing. And I hope they can go and back and answer and fix some of the problems found in the first game, like the fact that you can play an Awoken character, but your character has no knowledge of the Awoken or where they are, even though they are one. Hopefully Destiny will be fixed in The Dark Below, which they've said they're going to make a commitment to improve upon and give us more of the backstory of the Hive. I just hope this is a promise they ultimately follow through with. Number 4 on my list is a local chat option. This is the one thing fans have been crying out for and is ultimately necessary. I understand why Bungie decided not to put in it. They had heard and kind of bought into a lot of the internet talk and hype about how much harassment there is amongst players on online chatting in video games, which I get and understand as a problem, but I don't think it's something you can just completely eliminate in hopes of avoiding that problem. I think they could have come up with much better and more clever solutions because remember, goal is to be an MMO, and the only way you can truly interact with these other people is if you can ultimately talk to them, especially since this isn't a desktop type game in which you can type or have certain private chat windows. Eliminating chat altogether makes it and takes away a lot of the fun of an MMO, which is the fact of playing with other people. I mean, I guess it's kind of cool to just see other people walking around, but if you have no true interaction with them, you can't really build those relationships and bonds with other players. Number 5 on my list is that Destiny needs matchmaking for all strikes and weekly events. I don't understand why they only put this for the story mode strikes and not all the others. The system that they have in place works great and does a good job of matchmaking people of similar levels. So I don't know why they wouldn't expand this to all the strikes, because there are definitely people that need this service who have friends not playing on their console or maybe aren't playing currently at that time that still want to play Destiny currently. And I think this would be a huge addition to helping improve the game as a whole, because it would allow more people to play at ease and not have to worry about organizing 6 members. I think they've kind of skated by on this issue and kept Destiny alive due to the tireless work of the people at Destiny LFG that basically created a forum where people could find other people to play with. But this needs to be something in-game and not something that we have to look outside the game for. Number 6 on my list is that Destiny needs way more in-game content and content in general. See, I'm not a very avid gamer. I play things from here to there once in a while, but never finish anything, and even rarer get to the in-game content. So the fact that I have all 3 possible characters in the high 20s is a clear sign that this game might be too short, as well as given the fact that I find that I'm kind of limited and bored in what I can do with certain characters, because once you get a character in the high 20s and you've done the weekly events, there's nothing else for you can really do to improve or expand upon that character. So I don't know what they're going to do to fix this. I would ideally like that they were going to bring 2 strikes rather than just 1, but maybe instead of keeping it on a weekly timer, you lower the drop rate percentages in the strike and just allow people to have the opportunity to do it multiple times to get better gear. Because it kind of sucks that once you've done just 3 events once, you're basically done for the week and waiting for the weekly reset. Number 7 is that Destiny needs more PvP gameplay types. That's right, I didn't forget about you PvPers, as you guys are going without a lot of key staples of gameplay types from the FPS world. We're still missing the war or big group 12-on-12 game type matches, as well as a capture the flag game system, and bringing these would hopefully improve upon the PvP system as a whole. Number 8 on my list is that Destiny needs a lot more differentiated class play types. Unfortunately, a lot of the classes feel exactly the same, and there isn't really a lot of difference between playing the different classes, other than a few tweaks here and there. I hope that they will expand the skill tree in a way that will make the classes seem much more different and specialized from one another, and as also make the game itself call upon these different classes to be necessary to accomplish different goals and objectives within the game. Number 9 on my list is that Bungie needs to improve upon the look and feel of the high-end armor sets found from the raid and other in-game content. They did a great job designing the weapons, in which they look amazing, but the armor seems like it was kind of an afterthought. A lot of the in-game armor looks very similar to what was found in the beginning of the game, and I would hope they would improve upon this to make it look much more exciting and amazing. They could take a few lessons from WoW, in that their raid gear looks truly amazing and has a sense of accomplishment when you see it, because it looks so stunning and stands out so much from the regular gear. Hopefully this will be a task that they take on and improve upon in the dark below. And finally, at number 10 on my list, is that we need some type of wowing event or collective type of action. Something that will really improve upon the game and make people feel a part of something bigger as a collective. I think that's the one thing that's kind of missing, is that it feels like the world is very split up into very individual fire teams. If we could have some type of bigger event possible, I think that would really wow the audiences and make people feel that Destiny was living up to the hype, as well as bring back people that had kind of lost interest after the initial launch. So that wraps up my suggestions on how Bungie can make Destiny better, but I want to hear from you guys. How do you think that Bungie can make the game better or improve upon it in the upcoming expansion? Let me know in the comment section down below, as I'm always eager to hear your thoughts on this topic. Also, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Comics and Cosplay, as I post links to a lot of great news stories and articles, as well as featuring various other cosplayers and the amazing work that they do. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a like as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our future great content, like our Awoken Destiny cosplay makeup tutorial, in which I show you how you can do the Awoken makeup for your very own Destiny character. Well, as always, I'm your host Ian from Saturday Morning Cosplay, and I'll see you on the con floor.